we had a goal going in, Steve. Coach Lamb had really talked with our defense this week about having a shutout, and even though Lakeside scored 20 points on our second team, we're very proud of our first defense, and they did pitch a shutout. And here we go. We got a lot of young guys here. That's Matt Johnson there, a 9th grader who's really getting knocked around there, but he gets back up, and he's a quarterback. No, I'm sorry. When they score, we put our first bunch back in there on offense right here for one series, and we drive it down the field. Jake Sanders ran it the first time, and here we're running Dustin Ogle on a counter gap play that he scored on early in the football game. We still do have some young people in there.
Sort of a mix right
Yeah,
there.
it really is.
That's a good run right
really
there.
Is.
Good determined running.
Yep, and Jake's a little banged up this week. It's nothing serious. He's got what they call turf toe. I'm sure everybody's heard of that, and his toe's kind of swollen up and it's kind of sore. But you're not gonna keep him out of a football game, especially a big region game coming up. But we're playing a lot of split ends out here. Jonathan Hanson, Bob Ashburner, Russell Turner, another big run. But it all starts up front, Steve, with our line, and there's Frank Ponder. We mentioned his name a lot of times. Kevin Cummins at the other tackle, Craig Slade at a guard, Ben Dean at a guard, Jacob Billingsley at tight end, and they've really come along and done a great job. And Stephen Grubbs at center, and we just got to keep improving each and every week. And the last couple of weeks, Steve, we hadn't really worried about who we played. We worried about improving as a team and as Springwood. And the last couple of weeks of practice, we have practiced for what our opponents are going to do, but we have worked mostly on getting better as a team. And I feel like we've done that. And we're really going to have to improve this week in practice because it's going to be tough down in Luverne. Good job right there. Good block by Craig Slade and good run by Dustin Ogle.
Coach, one of the things I've noticed too is you've got so many people downfield on run plays, making blocks, looking for someone else to block after they've made their initial block.
Yeah, well, Coach McCarthy and Coach Lamb and the line coaches, once we get to that second phase, that's where it's going to happen. You block them at the impact there, and a lot of our blocking, Steve, we don't block men, we block rules or block area. And once we break that first line, if we get some folks downfield to block that second section, we're gonna make something out of it. And Coach McCarthy harps on that all the time. And see, we score a touchdown here, and we don't try to rub it in the face. We just take a knee and don't even try to make the 2-point conversion. But you see it's 40-6 here with 4.5 minutes left, and they scored 2 more touchdowns with their starters on our second team defense. And if that's the way they want to do it, that's fine. He runs his kickoff back right here. No, he doesn't. Brandon makes a good job, tackles him out of bounds. And Brandon, you can tell he's a defensive back.
Right.
We tell our defensive backs, you get them down any way you can, because once they get to the secondary, you're the last people that can tackle them.
That's right.
So he did a good job. It takes them a few plays here, but they finally get the ball in. Secondary does a pretty good job right there, and we get a decent pass rush. And we're playing a lot of young folks. There's Patrick Harville, Tay James again, Tate Hinkle, Bob Ashburner, Mace Floyd, Mike Sims, a 9th grader. So we got basically all 9th and 10th graders in there right now, and just trying to welcome them to high school football. There's Thomas Smallwood, number 50. He's been a good surprise for us. He's playing some guard and playing linebacker. See, there's another clip, Steve, we thought they might have got by with right there. That's Bob Ashburner. That may be the play. He got hurt Friday night. He's got what they call a boxer's fracture on his hand. And, we don't know how he's going to be. He practiced yesterday, but he's not going to be able to be in any contact, so and it'll be hard for him to catch the ball. He's one of our split ends also. So, we've had somebody injured each and every week, and that's what's been tough on us, trying to battle through those injuries with not a lot of depth.
Had an illegal procedure, and you got good pursuit here.
Yeah.
He breaks containment.
Yep. And somebody leaves their man trying to come up for the quarterback, but that's just part of being young. And we're going to learn from that, and we're going to keep working. and we're going to get better. They try onside kick here. Luckily, they called offside because the kicker, he almost missed the football.
Didn't work out too well
no,
right
it didn't.
there.
That's not the type of onside kick that you would want. But they're going to try it again, and I think Matt Johnson's over there, and they just kick it out of bounds, and we take the ball and try to move it on down the field here. But like I said, this is our second team again, and we're barely getting a handoff off. And I don't understand what Lakeside thinks they're getting out of this with with the starters still in there. See, like you said, everybody's up in the box, and it's just hard to get anything done. But he coaches his team the way he sees fit, and we coach ours the way we see fit. And
I've always felt like Coach, you and the folks at Springwood have shown a lot of class. Certainly in this respect, there have been so many occasions when you've had the opportunity to really roll up numbers on people, but you just chose not to do it, and for so many reasons, one of which, of course, is getting these young people some valuable experience.
That's
but
right.
The other is the fact that you just do show a lot of class at Springwood.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that, Steve, and we try to do that. We're not going to rub it in anybody's face, and because the shoe could be on the other foot, at any time. You never know. But if it does, I hope these people remember that.
Right.
And Friday night could have been one of those games where we could have beat them 60 to 70 to nothing. But excuse me, that's not what it's all about. These young guys, they practice each and every week. They practice hard, and they deserve the playing time.
That's right.
And plus, we may find out something we don't know about them once we get them in the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the case in the past. We've found out that some people can really do it if you get them in the game type situations.
I think they're going to score on the last play of the game, Coach.
Yeah. Overthrow pass here, and but they score the very last play of the game. Matt Johnson, one of our ninth grade cornerbacks, he was there to make the play, Steve. He's just not big enough and strong enough to make it. And you'll see here in just a minute, it'll be coming up down our sideline, and he makes a great effort to make the play, and he just doesn't make it. And you can't fault him. He did the best he could, and the guy was just a little bigger and a little stronger than he was, and he caught the football and got down the field with it. But we had pretty good pressure right here. Made him rush the football. We were beat, but he was overthrown. Couple of misassignments there by our secondary people. But as I said, they're learning, and that's what it's all about. Here's the last play of the game. See, Matt's there. He just couldn't make the play. Effort was there, but it just didn't happen. And we end up with the 40-20 victory, and we're pleased with that. That's the bottom line. We're winning, and we got better.
Yep, that is. And as I say, you show a lot of class in victory and in defeat. And fortunately for Springwood, over the last so many years, it's been in victory. And I know that you'd like to continue it that way.
Yeah, we would, Steve. And we're 2-1 right now. We very easily could be 3-0. It was a tough loss the first game of the year at Glenwood in overtime, but we're happy where we are at 2-1. But to be honest with you, we're going to put these first 3 games behind us because we're starting with back-to-back region games, and this is what our season's all about, and that's going to the playoffs. So we're 0-0 right now. That's the way we're looking at it, and hopefully this will be a good start to the playoffs. Be a tough team down at Luverne, Crenshaw, who we were undefeated last year, and they came in and beat us the first round of the playoffs 12-7. Have a pretty good team coming back, so we're going to have to be clicking on all cylinders.
Coach, I know that you'll have some folks back. I think you alluded to that earlier here on the show, and one is Matt McCullough, and hopefully the element of surprise, because they really haven't seen him probably on film, because as you said, he went out so early in that Glenwood game.
You're right. We exchanged all 3 films. Matt did get hurt the first series of the Glenwood game, and they probably didn't even notice he was in there because it happened so quick. And we're glad to have him back. He's going to be in the backfield along with Dustin Ogle and Jake Sanders. And like I said, Thomas Hill may or may not see action. It just depends on how his injury comes along. Jason Van Zant is probably going to see some action in the backfield. And we're also going to get Matt away from the linebacker position. you know, his knee will be well exposed at linebacker, so we're going to move Matt to the secondary, and hopefully he can help us out back there in the secondary.
Coach, what will be the agenda this Friday as you travel for the fans who are watching the show?
Well, Steve, on bus, it's probably close to a 2.5-hour drive down to Luverne, so we'll probably leave as soon as the pep rally's over when school's out. We're planning on going out Drovers, and we've been eating our pregame meal at Drovers, and they've been great to us. And we'll eat at Drovers and leave there, and we'll probably stop down around Tuskegee at the rest area to get out and stretch a little bit and let the guys go to the restroom, and then we'll take it on into Luverne from there. And we'll try to arrive in Luverne about 6:30. I like to get there about 2 hours ahead of game, especially on a long road trip. They can get out and walk around and relax a few minutes before we tape. And we'll go out with the first bunch about 7:40, and we'll be ready for kickoff about 8:30. And we hope that we'll have a good fan following. We usually do. I know it's a long ride, but it's a big region game. We need all the support we can get, Steve.
Coach, I know, as you say, this is where the season really starts when you start talking about the region games. Of course, the obvious goal is to reach the playoffs, and you fortunately have been able to do that so many times in recent memory. But, Coach, I know that you and the players are excited, looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, we are, and it was mentioned quite a few times at practice yesterday. I don't believe this coaching staff has been involved where we didn't make postseason play. And the players, the seniors, the guys that's been on the team before, we don't want to be the first team not to do that. So they were pretty fired up for a Monday practice yesterday, and you know, I think we'll be ready to play, and you know, we better be, because it's going to be a tough task just playing down there. And they may have the best skilled athlete or the best player that we'll play against all year. I mean, just individual player. His name's Matthew Mary. He's a tailback and he's a middle linebacker, and he's just a great football player. I mean, you know, I know we'll face a lot of good football players this year, but as far as individual talent, he's a player, and we'll have our hands full with him.
Coach, I want to thank you so much for spending time here with us on Knology's Primetime Football, and wish you and the Wildcats the best of luck this Friday, and look forward to talking to you again after a big win.
Thank you very much, Steve. We really enjoyed it, and y'all do a great job here, and we thank you for having us.
All right. Coach Roddy Beck of the Springwood Wildcats, we thank you so much for watching Knology's Primetime Football. Until next time, I'm Steve Smoot. Thanks for watching.
Knology Cable welcomes you to Primetime Football.
Welcome into Knology's Primetime Football. Good to be along with you. I'm Steve Smoot, and our guest today is Coach Roddy Beck of the Springwood Wildcats. And Coach, thanks for being here on the show.
Glad to be here, Steve. We enjoyed coming out and talking about our program.
Congratulations on another win, and of course this past weekend over Dixie. And I know that I understand you weren't exactly pleased in all facets of the game, but all in all, when you score 35 points and you come out on top, you have to be pretty pleased.
Yeah, we were pleased, you know, with the win, Steve. You know, it put us 2-0 in the region and 4-1 overall. But yeah, you're right. We were not pleased at the outcome of you know, some of the things that we did. We started very slow. We were flat. Dixie scored on the second play of the game on about an 80-yard sweep, something that we worked on all week. And you know, I guess, you know, that falls back on me and the coaching staff, and me being the head coach. I'll take the blame for that, and us not being ready to play, and us being a little flat when we come out. But after you review it and look over it, we did a lot of good things also. And you also have to give Dixie a lot of credit. Coach George Cochran's down at Dixie now. He's a retired coach from Alabama and won some state championships down at Eufaula High School. So they were well coached, and you know, they had a lot of tricks up their sleeves for us. But overall, we were pleased with the win.
Coach, let's jump right into it. Let's take a look at the day and some of the festivities leading up, of course, to the game. I know that, as always, you have that good support out there at Springwood, and you start each Friday off with a pep rally, and that's always good. I know for the student body, we've talked about this before, sometimes you're concerned as a coach as far as the concentration of your players, but I think that your young men do a good job of staying focused on the task.
Yeah, they do, Steve, and you know, the pep rallies and you know, all the festivities, they're for the fans. I think our guys you know, do a good job on staying focused on the game, and you know, I don't think it was, you know, that we were really not prepared last week. It was just that you know, we just had a big win over Crenshaw, and you know, you kind of get the big head, and you know, we just had a few guys that just wasn't ready to play.
You, I understand, had some injury situations too. Ben Dean is one, I believe, in the game. You had Jacob Billingsley with a thumb injury or injury to his hand. I know that's always a concern.
It really is. We had both of them checked out over the weekend. Ben's just a deep bruise, and it's very sore right now on his ankle. And Jacob just turned out to be a deep bruise also. We thought they were both serious on Friday night. We thought Jacob could have a possible broken thumb or a fracture, and the same with Ben's ankle. But luckily they came out with nothing major, you know, wrong with them.
Here you're kicking off this opening kick, and a little gadgetry on their part.
Yeah, that's Ben Dean right there. He's always wide open. They try to run a little reverse, and we stay at home and play it well. That's a good job there by 10th grade defensive end Stephen Slade and Jacob Billingsley. This is the play I was talking about. They get outside on us. We take a couple of wrong angles. Our end gets reached, and linebacker gets blocked, and you know, cornerback comes up and takes a bad angle, and they score on us here. So you know, we were not pleased at that. They jumped out to a quick 7-0 lead, and you know, it was an uphill battle from then on. And you know, we felt pretty confident, Steve, going in offensively, and that we could move the ball, and we did that. And you know, you got to give the guys a lot of credit there.
Brandon Johnson, the sophomore quarterback, running the offense, and here's Jake Sanders off to the races.
Right, that was the play we call a down G. We do a good job opening the hole there, and Jake does a good job running the football. Here we are on a buck sweep, get a little penetration there, and Dustin Ogle running the football. He stepped in and done a good job. And here we run a cross block with Dustin leading Jake through the hole, and we'll pick up 3 or 4 yards. Our main concern going in, Steve, was making sure we cut off penetration from the defensive line. And at times we did, and times we didn't. See, here was a breakdown right here. We had an audible going into the game that if they lined up in a certain defense, we were going to run a certain play. And we had a little confusion on that play, and we fumbled the football.
Dixie back with the ball now. That was a good defensive play that time by number 12.
Yep, that's Stephen Slade, 10th grade defensive end. Good pass rush there. You know, they probably should have completed that, but we had pretty good coverage there by Brandon Johnson.
Run that reverse on you again.
Yeah, little reverse. We play it well. It's Thomas Hill there, comes up from his safety position, makes a good play along with Patrick Harville, another 10th grade defensive end. So we're playing with, you know, we're starting a lot of youngsters, and you know, they're coming along well.
Dustin Ogle, a pretty good return there.
Right, pretty good job there. All we want them to do is catch it, and if we get any yards, that's just gravy. This is a counter gap play. A little tough run by Matt McCullough here. He does a good job. Come back and give it right back to Jake off tackle. This is a great run, good balance.
Very good job there. He almost went down, was able to regain his balance, and he's a hard runner to take down, certainly when he gets into the secondary, Coach.
Yeah, he really
Not
is.
many defensive backs can tackle that guy.
I'd hate to know I had to come up and challenge him with a full head of steam. I really would. But he's been battling what they call turf toe, and you know, he had to set out a couple of days of practice last week, and you know, he's done a good job getting back. And Steve, I believe last time I was here, we were concerned about our kickoff coverage, and it's at times it looks pretty good, and then other times it doesn't, and that's just something that we got to keep working on and getting better, and you know, we're going to keep doing that. That was a great defensive play there by Frank Ponder.
There they go,
And
trying to get outside.
Yeah, they did this a lot, Steve. You'll notice during the video here, a couple of the plays were designed to go off tackle, and we had them clogged up pretty good, and they bounced outside on us, and pursuit just wasn't there like it should be.
Got good penetration that time.
Yeah,
Coach.
we did. We do that some too, Steve. But we got to learn to find the football. You know, we get a couple of people in the backfield, and but we got to find the football. That's Patrick Harville on another good play for no gain, and like I said before, he's doing a great job. They had two guys in motion at one time there, and you know, the official kind of blew the call. It was supposed to be a live ball, and he blew it dead, so they had to wave the flag off. And you know, you can't fault him. He admitted it, and you know, there's really nothing you can say after he admitted he messed up.
Here again, you had penetration, Coach, and just couldn't find the ball.
Yeah,
carrier.
we did not make the play on the quarterback. That's a good play. They send the fullback out, and they have all backs out, and nobody there in the backfield, and we just didn't make the play on the quarterback. You can see right now we're not playing very well defensively. They're moving the football on us, and you know, that's just something we got to keep working on. And right here's that's a good job for us. But we were not very consistent Friday night, giving up 21 points. That's a good job by Stephen Slade on the quarterback.
Did a good job.
But we did not cover it very well. And one reason is Dustin Ogle, number 10, he got chop blocked or clipped. And he was supposed to be there to make the play, and they blocked him below the waist, so they're going to bring that back, and that was a big play for us. See, they were killing us right up the gut, and you know, that's something we got to improve on, and Coach Lamb, our defensive coordinator, we've talked about that. We're going to try a few different things in practice this week. Pretty good coverage there by Brandon Johnson, another 10th grader. So, you know, we're playing a lot of 10th graders. He was open there. Brandon kind of got turned around, and luckily the quarterback overthrew him. So we got a big break there. Run the draw play. Now Brandon's going to make a good play right here. You know, he's probably 125 pounds soaking wet.
Right.
And you know, we tell our defensive backs to get them down any way they can, and that was a big 4th down play for us right there. So you know, we get the football back. And you can see our cheerleaders there. They're dressed up in their I guess you'd call it country outfit. It was a country barbecue night for out there, and had a contest going on between the high schools, so that's what that was all about. That was a big lick there by 57. He's a good football player for Dixie, and we gained 2 or 3 yards there, and in the first quarter at 7-7. And you know, Steve, we're in a dogfight right now.
Brandon with a passing opportunity right there, and you don't throw the ball an awful lot, Coach. You just pick and choose your times to throw, but you want to be effective when you do.
Yeah, we've and Coach McCarthy and myself were talking about that last night at our junior high game, and we have improved on our passing. We've played 5 games, Steve, and I think we've thrown the ball 25 times, and I believe Brandon's completed 13 of 25. So you know, that's not bad for a 10th grade quarterback, and you know, as long as we keep improving, we'll be fine.
Continuing to see, of course, that time it's Jake making the play, but Patrick Harville's around the football an awful lot, Coach.
He really is. He's a hard-nosed kid, and you know, we're glad to have him. That's a great play. We should have had a pick there. Matt McCullough makes a good play, knocking it away from the receiver, and Dustin Ogle almost picks it off. See, we cover this play pretty well there, and you know, we got to keep getting better, and we hold them there on 4th down. That's 2 4th down plays that we've held them on, and get the ball back, and trying to just get something going down the field. Matt McCullough with a sweep, a couple of missed blocking assignments there, and end up in a 3rd down situation here, about 3rd and 4 or 5. Try to pass it again and do a good job hitting Matt out in the flats, and he does a great job running and getting the 1st down. You know, Brandon's getting better, as we mentioned, each and every week with that, and they get them for being offsides right there, and I kind of wish they hadn't made the call there, because we had a hole.
Coach, I think that was out the gate that time.
We had a huge hole. We come back and run the same play, probably get 8 or we get 10 yards, I believe, for a 1st down. So You got to be pleased with that. Good
Pretty
cut
good block
by
by
Matt.
50.
Yep. Ben Dean, 65, and Thomas Smallwood, number 50, another 10th grader, do a great job blocking there. Come back and run that same play again, and you know, they give it to you. You got to take advantage of it.
That's right, Coach.
And,
That's good execution right there.
Yeah, Brandon does a good job again. Line does a great job blocking, and Matt catches it and runs with it.
Look out.
Yep. He. That's, and I'm gonna tell you, we talk about defensive backs not wanting to take you on. Number 10 there for Dixie was a pretty tough defensive back, and he held his ground there against Jake. But I'd hate to know I had to do it on a regular basis.
Yes,
to
sir.
be honest with you.
You get 4 doses of that down there deep in their territory, and I don't think they're going to stop you many times.
Well, we were kind of worried here. We were a little sluggish, and we had to call a timeout and regroup. And we just, you know, you give it to your horse right there, and that's what we do. The line does a great job getting a good surge and getting Jake in the end zone.
Good job on your extra points too, Coach.
Steve, we've really improved on that. Dustin Ogle made 5 straight extra points Friday night, and that's good to see. I think we've gone a couple of weeks and have not missed one. And Matt McCullough was our holder before he got injured, and he's back, and you can really tell a difference on our execution on the extra points.
I'll tell you what, down the line in the playoffs and that sort of thing, that can make a significant difference. And he's kicking the ball with authority.
Yeah, he really is. He sure is. And that was Ben Dean again. Ben really plays with a lot of emotion. And this is a great play by your cornerback. This is all you can ask him to do, Steve. We, you know, in high school football, if a quarterback's able to complete that little 3-4 yard out, we just got to make sure we're going to make the tackle and not get any extra out of it.
That's right.
And here we are again. They try to run a little pick play on us, and you know, the officials didn't see it, and we do a good job on pursuing to the football. But we get it back here again. I think we're leading 14-7, and this is Dustin again. One thing we've kind of tried to get Dustin to do, he tries to dance around a little too much, and they're taking some good shots at him. And you know, if you see a lot of defenders coming at you, you better go on and get on the ground.
Yeah, that guy teed off on him a moment ago. That's a great throw and pass there, Coach.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Got a good comeback block by Matt McCullough. Yeah, Brandon did a good job getting out on the flank, and Jacob Billingsley ran a great route and a good catch, and good run after the catch.
That had to feel good for Jacob. He as we've talked about, he's a good kid.
He really is, and he played in a lot of pain Friday night. Another thing we're really concerned about, he's a long snapper, so it's hard to snap with a broken thumb.
Yeah.
Brandon does a good job. We run an option down here, and Brandon does a good job tucking the ball and scoring. We made that extra point. It didn't look real pretty, but you know, we got that in, and we got a 21-7 lead, and that's what we're going to have here going into halftime. We do a good job here getting down the field, but see, Steve, we're not breaking down and making tackles.
Right.
Thomas Hill does a good job there, but the thing about it, he is our contained man, and you know, we end up with a contained man making the tackle, and you know, we just got to get a little better on that. Frank Ponder there with a good play, and Patrick Harville also there to help him. So we're getting a little better here up the gut. You know, we need to stick them and drive them back, move our feet. We're letting them get too much forward lean after, you know, the initial hit. And you know, that's something we'll improve on. Big play right here. We get a fumble, and I believe Patrick Harville comes up with it. You know, they were good to us there, and luckily we were around the football and were able to fall on it.
Got a little time left before the halftime.
Yeah, we do.
You'd like to make them pay right here.
Yep, and you know, we try to here. Brandon does a good job. I want you to watch this peel back block by 65 Ben Dean. You see him right here, and he's going to be, watch this.
Good.
And he doesn't pick out the littlest one on the team. It's basically the biggest one.
Yeah.
And you know, he peels back, and he just knocks him on his can.
That's one of those rare big licks on Jake right there.
Yeah, it is. They, you know, I guess they kind of caught on to us, you know, running him a good bit, and you know, we're going to run him till people stop him, and we feel like we got, you know, 2 other running backs that are, you know, worthy of toting the ball, and that's Matt McCullough and Dustin Ogle. If they
just
start,
out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a good throw and a good catch by Thomas Hill. We were just barely out of bounds, and Matt McCullough booms this punt. I just wish we'd got in there a little early and kept it out of the end zone, but that was a nice punt there. And that's the last play of the first half there, and you know, we go in with a 21-7 lead. you know, we're pleased with the lead, Steve, but you know, we got to go in and regroup and you know, talk about some of the mistakes that we made, and you know, kind of went in at halftime and kind of basically just challenged our guys because we were not playing as well as we should be.